Hello, and thank you so much for pressing play on the latest edition of the Michigan Soccer Central podcast, your weekly dip into the world's game being played right here in the Great Lakes state of Michigan. How's it going? My name is Robert Kerr, host of the program, as always, episode 102, recording on Sunday, March 19th. Appreciate you checking in over the weekend. We had Detroit City FC getting their first win of the season at the second time of asking. They've started their season in the USL Championship with 2 games on the road, a 1-0 defeat last week, and then Saturday night in El Paso securing a 3-1 victory. So tip of the cap to City as they return home to Keyworth for the first time this year, next weekend, the afternoon of the 25th. So looking forward to returning to Keyworth once more. Check out the feed. We had 2 episodes last week. We had episode 100, a great collaboration with one of my favorite local podcasts, Daily Detroit. And then a little bit of a bonus episode at the end of the week. Episode 101 was with Drew the Duck, talking about the National Futsal Premier League and the Futsal Factory. So some great stuff, a double episode last week, but very special episode this week as our featured guest is the youngest ever contracted player for the National Women's Soccer League. Yes, it's Dexter's own Chloe Ricketts. Just a week before the NWSL season kicks off, she was kind enough to spend a few minutes talking to me about getting that call, kind of what fostered this move, how she got to be so good, a 15-year-old professional player, being homegrown right here in the Great Lakes state. So stay tuned for a great conversation with Michigan's own and now Washington Spirit's Chloe Ricketts. Welcome back here on Michigan Soccer Central podcast. My next guest, super excited, very special guest, made national news just a couple weeks ago as the youngest contracted player in National Women's Soccer League history. And she's from right here in the Great Lakes state, Dexter, Michigan native. Welcome to the program, Chloe Ricketts. Thank you for joining us here on the Michigan Soccer Central podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. So I guess we're recording on Sunday the 19th, 7 days away from Washington Spirit's home opener, your brand new team. How you feeling at this little snapshot in time?
I'm super excited. It feels like a dream, and I'm hoping we get a win on our first game, but just having fun would be good with me.
Okay, so getting a win would be good with you, I'm sure. Washington Spirit, your brand new team, you signed at the beginning of the month after having been invited out to there in what, January, February?
Yeah, preseason.
And so I guess from going, I guess to give a little bit of background to the listeners, you were playing for the Jaguars and you spent last summer with AFC Ann Arbor, and you've done a lot with Next Level Training and the Futsal Factory, right?
Yes.
And then so in the winter, you're doing all those activities. And then what has transpired to get you to this point where you're a week away from the NWSL regular season?
Next Level has helped me out a lot, and I'm really grateful for my parents for taking me and putting up with me even when I play bad and I'm in a bad mood because I play bad, and I am grateful for everything Next Level does, and every club that I played for has done for me, and yeah, just like working hard.
So how did it? When did it all escalate? Were you doing your thing here in Michigan, and then you got a call, and then you got I guess how did that step by step process go from you being an invitee to signing that contract as the youngest contracted NWSL player?
I was actually at Next Level when they first saw me, And then they invited me out to preseason because Aaron Bird from Next Level Training is close with them. And they asked them about me. And then they invited me to their preseason just for a week. And I guess they liked my play style. And then they gave me a contract the next week. So it happened really fast.
So it's after spending 2 weeks with them, they made an offer for you.
Yeah, very fast.
So when you went out there, what was your thinking? Were you like, oh, this will be exciting to get like a little flavor of it? Or did you go in there like, I'm going to make this team?
Um, I went in there thinking I'm probably not going to make the team, but it's a really good learning experience and I can grow from it and I can get a taste of what being pro is really like. So
When they made that offer to you, did you know you were going to be the youngest?
I did not. I did not know I was going to be the youngest. By 3 days is pretty crazy, but
Yeah, for sure. So things have like really progressed quickly, like you said. When was it? Was it always your goal to become a professional player?
it's always been my goal to play professionally, but up until like a month ago, I was thinking I'm going to go to college and then after college, I'm going to turn pro or at least try to turn pro. And then now I, I went pro first. So yeah,
And so a month ago, this was not necessarily how you foresaw it.
no, definitely not.
Oh wow! So I guess Washington Spirit, they were 2021 champions. 2022, from what I can tell, in the table didn't go their way. How's the team looking going into this new season?
The team is awesome. The chemistry we have is unbeatable, and the energy that we bring to the field every day is unmatched.
Yeah, and so how was that transition of joining a team full of adults? I think you had some experience playing with older players in the last like year or so, but how was that stepping in with veterans and pros and adults?
Um, It was a big jump, but from playing at next level with all their pros all the time, it made it easier for me. And everyone on that team is very welcoming and nurturing to me and just wanting the best for me. So the jump wasn't as hard as I was expecting.
Really? So it was a jump, but how many days, I guess, did it take for you to like feel like you were playing your game?
I think I'm still getting warmed up a little bit to actually playing like me, but it took maybe just the first preseason to warm up and feel a little more comfortable around everyone and playing.
So how extensive was the preseason? How did that? How many games was there, and how has that been structured?
Preseason, it's been just a lot of practicing and a lot of scrimmages, inter squad scrimmages, and we've scrimmaged a lot of boys teams through preseason and mostly ourselves, but it's been really good. I'm excited for the season. Very excited.
So is there any indication from your coach Mark Parsons? Is there any indication like if you're in the squad or anything like that going forward into this first week?
I do not believe I will be dressing for the first game, but they're just trying to ease me in right now, and I'm new to everything, so I'm not there yet with the tactics and with the play yet, but hopefully soon.
What's been like a new person on the job thing that you've run into in these opening couple weeks, integrating into kind of your new life as a professional person? What's been a thing that's outside of soccer that's kind of been tricky that you figured had to figure out so far?
Probably getting to practice because I can't drive yet, so my sister just moved down to Washington, D.C. to help me out with that, but everything has been pretty easy. The club's made everything super easy for me to do, and nothing's really stood out to me being extra hard. So,
So did the team? How have they accommodated you and your age?
uh, there's a bunch of rules that are in place, so I can't share a locker room with anybody, and more than one person has to be in the room with me at all times. So they've I'm definitely a pain in the butt for the club. A lot of extra work, but they've really just made sure I'm comfortable and making sure I feel good and my body feels good. So they've just done above and beyond every day for me.
So you've got like an extra changing room and that sort of thing, and then you guys like meet in the tunnel, so to speak.
Yes, they go above and beyond every day.
And it'll be like that until you're 16 or 18
Till
or
I'm 18.
till you're 18. And from what I gather, you had a 3 or a 4 year contract, so it'll take you beyond into past 18 years old.
Yes, it will.
Okay, so you said you're not probably not gonna suit up this time, but I assume that you're pushing them every day to change their minds.
Yeah, every day I go out there and play my heart out, just trying to get dressed one of these games.
So for those who haven't seen you play yet, how would you describe yourself as a player?
Um, I would describe myself as just a really hard worker, very intense, and every once in a while I'll pull out a couple skill moves, but that's about it.
You first came across my radar and a lot of people's in Michigan when you signed for AFC Ann Arbor, because you were 14 or 15 joining the summer league, which typically is, college age type players or those, trying to make the jump from college beyond. And then you out everybody with that goal. I think it was their first goal of the season. Tell us about that and that whole experience last summer.
Um, that experience has really helped me with playing professionally here. But that goal was crazy. I did a double scissor and I took a touch, and I didn't think it was going in because it kind of floated up a little bit. And I was like, oh no, I just missed. And then I saw the ball hit the back of the net, and it was kind of surreal. I just heard my family cheering, and all my teammates were cheering. Even though we were losing, it was really awesome to get that first goal.
Yeah, that goal definitely made the rounds. That was up in Flint, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, there's a great replay of that on Twitter, and that I feel like there was goal of the month I think for May or June, and then it was up for like goal of the season, and then again with the news of your signing came about again. So that one is on high rotation.
It was.
And so is that like the typical type of move that you might do, or are you just like feeling especially like saucy that day?
A double scissor is a typical move I would do. That's like a move that I have grown up using, and I don't plan to stop using it.
Okay. So some fun to be had for Washington Spirit fans. So at what age did you really start like doubling down and like soccer's my number one thing and that I'm just gonna throw everything at?
I've been pretty bad at every other sport other than soccer. uh, when I was 8, I started playing soccer, and I was also really bad at that, but I liked it a lot. So I kept working, and about age 10, I went to next level, and I've been working there ever since. And I got a lot better from when I was 8. So
So it's really like when you were kind of like double down. Were you like playing rec and then you added NLT trainings into the mix, or kind of what was that
yeah,
progression?
I was playing rec soccer, and then I added next level to the mix, and then I started developing from there.
When was there like the aha moment when you were like, I might be good at this stuff?
Um, I don't really remember because I always remember like not being good at soccer when I was a little kid, and then I remember one day I played for the Tigers first, and I remember they invited me to practice with the boys, like the '07 boys team, and that was kind of the day that I was like, soccer might be my thing.
Oh, and when you got called in, like, hey, Chloe, you want to jump in this, and you went over there, and it went well.
Yes.
Well, how old were you when that happened?
Probably 11, maybe maybe 12.
And you were playing boys your age,
Yeah,
like
my
at
age.
that point?
The same boys team that I won a national championship. I practiced with them at such a young age, so I've known them for a while.
Wow. Okay, so that's the team that you spent the most time
Yeah.
with the boys 07 side?
Yes.
Oh wow. What are some stories you could tell from those days?
Um, I mean, I love those days. Like, I would not be here without any of those boys, and they mean the world to me. Like, they're my brothers, they're my family. Every tournament that I went to, just goofing around and having fun and playing soccer, like, I would not change it for the world. I miss it, but yeah.
But now you're playing against a whole nother
hmm
challenge, playing in professional women's soccer. So next Sunday, your Washington Spirit side, who I mean, your team includes superstars like Trinity Rodman and Ashley Sanchez, and then your side's going to be facing the likes of Bethany Balser, a fellow Michigander, Megan Rapinoe, and Rose Lavelle. I mean. Are these? I mean, I imagine these are the kind of players that you were looking up to not long
I
ago.
still am looking up to them. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. Do you have going back a little bit about just like your adjustment with your age jumping into the professional world? You said your sister has moved down there. I was going to ask, like, do you have family, friends, like who's your support network with you? I imagine that. Do you have any other connections to the Washington D.C. area other than this job?
I have no other connections. It's just me and my sister that are living here. So, yeah.
And so she's, you said, taking you to training and kind of scooting you around it. And then, so how does the schooling work?
I'm all online school, so I can do my classes at my own pace. And I mean, there's still due dates on the assignment, so I do get those in on time. But the school that I'm in right now has been very lenient with that, with my schedule and understanding what's going on. So,
Is that like the Dexter schools that have like an online version of what you had, or is this like
it's
a
a
whole
whole
different kind of
different thing.
schooling?
It's a online academy.
Online academy, and is that challenge like on Monday after your team's first game of the season? Are you gonna like crack open the books on Monday morning?
Yeah, sadly, I'll have to. Uh, I mean, sometimes it's hard to like force myself to do it, but it's for the best. So I just got to remember that.
Um, with the long season ahead, you said you don't expect necessarily to dress next Sunday, but like I guess it's coming quick, like you said, you about a month ago. This isn't what you had in mind. But what would you say now that you're in the mix? What would you say is a successful rookie season?
I'm hoping to dress against Racing Louisville. Uh, Maybe score a goal this season. Just play a couple minutes this season, and then hopefully next season I'll be playing a lot more and getting used to everything.
Is there anything else about these last few weeks in this process um, that I haven't asked you about, like what was that first day like when you were first I guess the day after you signed your contract, like how was that first day when you knew like this is where I'm gonna be for
When
sure?
I signed that contract, I kind of didn't believe it, and honestly, I still don't believe that it's real. But it was surreal. My grandparents got to be in the meeting with me, and just having them in the meeting, knowing everything that they've done for me, I could not be happier that they got to share that moment with me.
Oh, that's very very cool. Well, you've added another team that I've got to follow now that you've joined the Washington Spirit. The NWSL season opens next Sunday. And it is being covered across the CBS Sports networks with the majority of the games on Paramount Plus. Chloe Ricketts, youngest ever contracted NWSL player. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Michigan Soccer Central podcast, and all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cool. Big thanks, listener, for sticking around through the entirety of the Michigan Soccer Central podcast. And thank you so much to our guest this week, Miss Chloe Ricketts, the youngest contracted player in NWSL history. Going to do some big, great things, amazing attitude. And I think NWSL and Washington Spirit fans have some great times to come. And we've added Washington Spirit to the teams that we got to keep track of. That game next weekend should be a good one. Seattle Reign with Michigander Bethany Balser will be making that trip to Washington, to Audi Field, where Washington Spirit will be playing all of their home games. They'll be on Paramount Plus next Sunday at 4 o'clock. Michiganders in action. Can't wait to see it. Amazing times we're living in. That I'm just blown away by the ambition and talent of the youth that we have here in our state. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the guests as always, Drew Ducker and the guys from Daily Detroit last week, and all the other guests we've had in our 102 episodes of the Michigan Soccer Central podcast. Thank you, Jenny Hajnaki, for editing the program as always. Thank you to the MSC core team. And until next time, everybody, please enjoy your soccer.
Michigan Soccer Central.